Being a conscious manifester, it's a lifestyle. It is not an emergency pill or an emergency kit. It is not about what type of affirmation should I use or anything like that. And sure enough, after my video last week, where I explain how I imagine, how I create a short scene to manifest a specific event, a specific result, I receive messages from people saying, I can't imagine, so I don't even know how or why you are saying you can't imagine because it's impossible. And I know that when I say imagine, I know what I mean. I mean imagine, right? The mind imagines all the time. Imagining can be in the form of a visual, of an audio, or anything else. Whatever goes through your mind, it is imagining. So I guess what you mean is I can't visualize. Do not mix the words. Do not get lost in words, right? Visualizing is only visualizing something in the form of a picture or a movie. Imagining is whatever goes through your mind that you are imagining right now, as you are watching this video. So, after my video last week, I received messages saying I can't imagine and how should I affirm and what should I affirm. Guys, while I have nothing against affirmations, I am not, if you've noticed, if you follow my channel, I am not in a business to teach you how to affirm and what to affirm. I am not really in the business of teaching any type of techniques to manifest. I am about teaching you who you truly are and that imaginations, whatever goes through your mind, whatever you are identifying yourself within the mind, manifest, right? A few years ago, I had a dream, a very specific and short dream where Neville was sitting right in front of me. And he kept repeating to me, imagination creates reality. He repeated that several times as I woke up from that dream. Because it is true, right? Imagination creates reality. But when he said, or when I say imagination, I don't mean just visualization. And the two main reasons why you don't get what you want, apparently, it is not because you don't know how to imagine, how to visualize, or what to affirm. It is because you are not, absolutely not dwelling in the state of your desire fulfilled, and you are still very much identifying yourself way too much as this human character. Those are the two main reasons you are not, apparently, manifesting what you want. So someone sent me a message asking me about what do I do when I have negative thoughts? This is one of the most common questions that I get. What do I do when I have negative thoughts? Really? Nothing. There is nothing you should do about the thought. The thought itself stems from the state that you are in. Whatever state you are occupying right now, whatever you are identifying yourself with right now, from that stem the thought. It is from that that your thoughts are coming from, right? So you are thinking from the state, from the identity that you are occupying. So if you are in the business, and I'm not, but if you are in the business of micromanaging the thought, you are wasting your time. If you have learned to observe yourself, and one of the main things you should start with when you become a conscious manifester is to observe yourself. If you observe yourself carefully, you'll notice that when you are trying to micromanage your little thoughts, you are more likely to get even more negative thoughts behind. And I don't know when you send me messages if all you watch is my last video, but I really encourage you to watch all my most recent videos, my videos from the last 3, 4, 5 months, really. Really watch those, right? Don't watch just one video and sending me tons of questions based on that one video, right? The purpose of having many videos in a channel is because we can't say it all in one video, right? So it is best when you discover a channel like mine to watch more than one video to start with. And I'm saying this because in previous videos, I have mentioned many times in more than one previous video, I have mentioned that thoughts, they don't really mean anything, right? So trying to macromanage your negative thought of the moment from the state of not being who you want to be anyway, it's really a waste of time. It's really, really wasting your time and even actually making things worse for you. Because when you do that, when you resist a thought, when you try to work out a thought, when you try to dissect a thought, more like it will come behind. If not today, tomorrow, next week, you'll never get out of this, right? So when you have negative thoughts, go back to the source, right? What is the source of the thought? Is your state. And I know I've said that before in other videos as well, right? So you go back to the source of the thought, what it is, it's your state. It's whatever you are identifying yourself with. If you are in the state of not being the person you want to be, so you want to be married, but you are in the state of feeling lonely, alone, and not desired and not wanted, and all that stuff, sure, you are going to have thoughts that match that state for sure. That's what thoughts are, right? They are ideas coming up to the mind that matches who we are at the moment. So instead of trying to dissect the thought, become aware, let that thought or those thoughts be a signal to you that you are not dwelling where you want to be dwelling, right? You're not in the right state. So you realize because of the thoughts, well, apparently I am not in the state of being married, to put relationship as an example. Therefore, what can I do? What can I do to feel like this person who is married, who is desired, who is chosen, whatever word you want to use, right? Well, that's when imagining that you are, right? But not only visualizing, create a feeling within. How would it feel to be married right now? And don't tell me happy, because while, yeah, I hope that if you are married, you are happily married, but it is not about being happy or sad, right? Neville said it, that the feeling, when he talked about the feeling it real, he didn't mean emotions. So to me, being happy or sad is more about emotions. So go beyond happy. Yes, you would be happy. Let's say you would be happy, great. But go beyond that. How do you identify yourself as being married, as being in a relationship? This is the question you should ask yourself and enter that state. Enter that state of being married. How do you walk? How do you talk as that person? How do you cook? How do you do all the things that you do? How do you do those things? How do you feel? What is the feeling of being married to you? And the reason why I said to avoid happy is because that nowhere on earth, if you are married, you are going to be necessarily jumping up and down every single day of your life, because this is not how we live, right? Married people are normal people, except that they are married and they know that they are married. They are not jumping up and down just because they are married or rich or healthy, right? Those states, being healthy, married, or rich, it's a state, but nobody who has those things are necessarily happy all the time. No, they're not. They're just normal. So, how does it feel for you to feel that you are that? A very good way to enter a state, to occupy a state, and to dwell there is to fall in love with that state, right? Falling in love with the state that you want to be in means that you want to stay there and you want to return there as many times as possible if you happen to leave, right? Because you fell in love with that feeling of being. The reason why you have so much trouble entering that state and dwelling in it, it's because I think that you are more in love right now with your old state. Even though you might say this is not true, you don't want to admit that you are, you don't even want that to be the case. But if you are honest with yourself, you may be more in love with the state of not being for some reason than the state of being the person you want to be. So think about this. How can you fall in love with that state in the sense that you really want to have it, you really want to be it, right? That's what it means to fall in love with something. You want to have it, you want to be part of it, you want to be that all the time. You know, whatever you love in life, you tend to be attracted to it, right? Me, for example, I love cats. I can't see a cat without approaching the cat and touching the cat, caressing the cat, because I love cats, right? So this is why I'm telling you the best way to make sure you occupy your state and stay there as much as possible is to fall in love with that state. And you will want to be in it all the time. So ask yourself the question, what state do you love best? Do you love best the state that you say you want to be in or the state that you are currently in? Very important. So, this is the number one reason why you keep struggling no matter how many videos you are watching, right? You are simply not dwelling in the state of your desire fulfilled. And the second reason is you do not see the forest for the trees. And let me explain why. You are so much into that human character that you do not see, you do not feel who you truly are. Trust me if I tell you that within the past few months, I have really myself worked on detaching as much as possible from my human character. What is your human character? Well, is everything that has to do with what you see, right? Your avatar, your name, your identity, that human suit that you are wearing that looks such and such a way. When you detach from that, and by the way, this is what my video that I have just released in my membership channel is about. It's to help people to create a meditation so they can go within deeper, really understand who they truly are. Who you truly are is source, is I am, is God. It's that divine force within that creates world. That thing that you can see and touch, your human character, your avatar, whatever you want to call it, this is not who you truly are. This is the vehicle that God uses so that God within can experience different things through different characters. But if you see yourself as the character and that's all that you are going to make things way more difficult. You know, not so long ago, I thought that I had done all the work that needed to be done. My career was flourishing. I had really everything I wanted. But not until something happened. Something happened to me. But you know, I do believe that nothing bad ever happens to the character. And when something that appears to be bad happens, especially to someone who has awakened already, at least to some level, it's to show the character, hey, you could do better here. You could improve. And that's exactly what happened to me. I dug deeper because I was shocked. I did not understand why whatever happened to me in the 3D happened to me. But now I actually see that it was my inner self, my true self, that was waking me up, telling the character, right, the Sylviane character, you simply had fallen asleep. And yes, I have to admit, I had fallen asleep. You know why? Because I came too much within my character and I fell asleep. Yeah, that's what it's called, falling asleep, right? You forget who you truly are and you get too much into that character, that human limited character. And then things start to fall off the cliff, so to speak. But it was a wake up call for me. It was showing me that I was falling asleep. And what happens when you fall asleep and something shake you up? Well, it wakes you up, right? So I have never felt more awake and aware than within the past few months because I was falling asleep, but because I had always trusted my inner self, my inner God, to be with me no matter what happens, well, that inner God, that inner self had to wake me up, right? Had to wake me up. So that's another thing. If you are too attached to the human character and don't get in touch with your true self within, how can you expect to have that connection? Because yes, you are already source within. But the more you are asleep into your character, the less connection you have with your true self. So this is why you need to detach more and more from the character and get closer to your true self. And you'll see how life becomes so much easier and how much better you are going to feel. You know, as far as I'm concerned, every time I have a waking up session, so to speak, I feel better. Every time I feel better. And every time it's like I'm shedding more of the old bitch, right? And I turn around and I'm like, wow, how did I do this? How did I do this? Who was I? I can't even recognize myself. So this is why I am very insisting that you should get closer to your true self, to your God self, to your I am, so you don't have to suffer the miseries of the character, the human character. And the closer you are to the character, the harder, the more difficult your life will be in any area of it. And the closer to your true self you get, the easier your life will get. So in the video that I have reserved for my membership channel, I am explaining that part, how you can wake up to your true self. Okay? So if you are interested, you can join the membership channel and you can actually watch that video. Let me read you something from Neville that really teach you about this, about understanding who you truly are and how important it is that you understand who you truly are. God became you so completely that he forgot that he was God. In becoming man, God reached the limit of contraction and opacity. God totally forgets that he is God in order to become and animate his creation, men. God then goes through all the experiences of knowing good and evil, and even death, in confidence that men will eventually awake from this dream of life to once again know that he is God. There is only God in the universe, fragmenting himself as humanity. And God plays all the parts in this time-space dream. Your own wonderful human imagination is God in action. I am is Christ in you, your Savior. And Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God. God speaks to us through desire, urging us to reach higher and higher levels of awareness. So, in what I've just read, when you hear the word God or Christ, forget about Christianity and religions, right? Christ is imagination. God is I am. And both of them are linked. And us humans, we are inhabited by this force, God. And through the power of imagination, we can create whatever it is that we want to live, right? So it is clear here. Listen to it again and again and again until you get it. It is clear in what I've just read that Neville, first of all, truly understood spiritual law, right? Because if you listen to modern spiritual teachers, they completely agree with what I've just read, right? God is within. God is not a force outside of you like this bearded man somewhere in the sky. And Christ is not the physical Son of God, right? God is the force within you. You, the character, the human character, are like this suit, this fleshy suit that is the vehicle that God is using to experience things. And what is called Christ is the power of imagination. This human, wonderful imagination that Neville always referred to as the medium that we can use to create such and such specific event or results or whatever it is that we want to manifest. So, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you are not going to ask me if you can affirm this or that in your next message or comment to me, because as I've said a few months ago, I want my channel, therefore I want the audience of this channel to grow in consciousness and to go above and beyond affirmations and techniques in general. While I don't have anything against it, I really want you to go above and beyond those things. Thank you so much for watching. Again, be sure to check my membership video that is going to help you in your awakening. I truly believe that it will. And I won't have a video next Friday because I am going on vacation for a week, but I'll see you very soon. I may be doing some shorts from the beach anyway, though. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.